Welcome back to the Renegade Report with Kenny Calvin and Renegade beat writer from TBC, Jon Mettus. What's up, sir?
Great to be here, Kenny. Always love joining you.
For us this year, we kind of had an opportunity to evolve as play-by-play and broadcast guys with some of our pregame stuff.
Yeah.
It's definitely been an honor to share the air with you, man.
Well, now that I don't have to talk to Vance anymore, obviously it's a lot more fun being with you.
VP, he's sorry. He's
I'm
sorry.
not.
He's not. All right, but hey, one of the things we talked about during the break was how our role has transitioned, as play-by-play guys and broadcast journalists, giving a bit of an outlook for how our pre-games look. Me and you come in for our segment. We talk about what's to come for both teams. Mm-hmm. We highlight some of the athletes to watch, some of the players to watch. We also talk about our expectation and what we expect to see. How's that experience been for you since you joined TBC and BC as a Renegade?
Well, it's been a good experience. I mean, going back to my college days, we did podcasts and stuff like that, but it was never really like, all right, you've got this live pregame show that you have to prepare for. So, you definitely need to know your stuff about BC. You need to know your stuff about the other teams. So, I'm already getting familiar throughout the week when I'm writing these stories, but it just forces you to kind of, when you're analyzing it yourself, you're sort of looking at things rather than just a stat or something. You're like, okay, why does this happen? Or things like that. And, I get to maybe some things that Coach Chudy says that I'm not fitting in a story, or, you're able to kind of expound upon different ideas and different little tidbits and different little notes. And I think it's nice because it's more of like a conversational setting than me sitting at my computer typing and waiting for everybody to go read it when it's in the paper or online.
Definitely a great experience for me, because there were times in the previous years where I wouldn't even see you during the game.
Yeah.
Like, you would be downstairs, we'd be up top, or, even out in road games, you would be down in the stands. You would come up to say hi during halftime when we're getting our snacks and lunch or whatever. But having the opportunity to spend that time with you kind of helps us develop our skills. And just like you said, I had no idea that I was transitioning into this pregame role until one day Vance was like, "Hey, Kenny, all right, you and John are on for pregame right after we go. Okay, what do I talk about?"
I think he just got tired of talking to me.
There you go. I'm telling you. But one of those things that you need to know as a former player, some of my favorite articles written by former TBC beat writers changed my outlook on my career. It gave me the confidence to understand that, hey, maybe I can do this for a living, and maybe I can be bigger than what's happening in this environment and around this area and take my show on the road as a player. And there's still articles now when I have tough times or I'm going through a struggle that I'll go back and read just to get that feeling of accomplishment from those older moments, to remind myself that, hey, when things get low, you always capable of coming back and being a better version of yourself, just like me and Coach Sandy Taylor talked about. But one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about before we move on is how valuable and how much of an impact your words have on the lives of these student athletes. How does that make you feel to hear that?
Well, that's the whole reason you get into this. It's not because, I like sports, but it's not because I'm absolutely, I want to sit there for however many football games a year and just write about the game. You do it because you like writing about people, you like telling people's stories, and, especially at BC, you've got kids that have gone through they might be 18, 19 years old, but they've gone through all sorts of things. Everybody's in a different position, and, we've got a lot of athletes at BC that are some of the top junior college kids in the state, maybe in the country, kids that are going to go on to Division I, and everybody's got their own hurdles they have to overcome or different circumstances that they're in, and it's really nice to be able to, you put that out there, and then I get emails every week. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't know that about this kid. Like, wow, that's a great story. Or you get, different stories about maybe somebody's got some sort of medical issue that they've been dealing with, or some sort of disability that they've overcome, and you get messages of other people that want to get in contact with them because that person's personal story inspired somebody else and it gave somebody else hope.
Yes.
To me, that's my favorite part of all of it. I know it's not BC related, but I wrote a story about a kid at CSUB who broke his leg, was out for a year and a half, had to go through 5 surgeries, And then people were on Twitter like, I just broke my leg too, but like now I know.
You see?
And it's been hard for me to come back and hard for me to stay mentally in it. But, you read a story and then you're like, okay, somebody else did it, I got it too.
You took the words right out of my mouth. It's so inspiring. That the opportunity to take a piece of paper on one of your lowest days and read it, and then it inspires you to be the better version of yourself the next day. It's an undescribable feeling. So let's talk about where we are in the end of the year. We're at the end of the year, end of the regular season. We have opportunity to play in a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about the frustrating loss the last week already a little bit. Let's talk about Saddleback. For the Renegade football team, we're going down to Saddleback. We'll play them. I want to say they were a 6th seed.
Yep.
What do you know about Saddleback as a program?
Well, Saddleback's a good team. They're a little bit the opposite of BC. It seems like they throw the ball a lot. Their quarterback's got like 2,400 passing yards or something on the season. Yeah, it's over 2,000. I know that. They stick with one guy. It's not one of the teams where they're switching back and forth between a first stringer and a second stringer. But they, the games that they win, they usually score between 40 and 50 points. So It seems like the pressure is on their offense. They're converting third downs at like 44%, which is 10th in the state.
I was going to say, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good, especially for this time of the year. I mean, you see in the middle of the season, a team's at like 50%, and they're like in the top 10. But it's like, okay, once we're 10 games into the year, if you're still at 44% and you've gone through all your conference schedule and you've definitely played some tough teams, that's good. So, and BC's a little bit of the opposite, where some of the best wins, the defense has maybe been the strong point, and they've gotten some wins where maybe the score wasn't. I don't think BC is going to win a shootout with Saddleback. I'll put it that way. I don't think if it's a 60 to 50 game that's going to go in BC's favor. Just because,
I agree.
The offense has been coming along, but that's not exactly a high-powered offense. But the defense is, I would say the defense is the strong point of the BC team.
We talked about that this past week, as far as what we needed to do to win. And in the first half, we did exactly what we needed to do to win. We played ball control offense. We took advantage of the turnovers that we had. And it actually was an opportunity for us to really get something done. And then in the second half, they just came out and really just took advantage of what we didn't do well, and that's execute on offense, move the chains. And the second half kind of put us in the situation of what we can't do this week, go 3 and out and kick the ball back to a high-octane offense like Saddleback. So thinking about this week, didn't have, we had something to play for last week, made it to postseason play, and that's football. But any other sports that you had an opportunity to write that stuck out in your mind as far as the season?
Well, I was just at volleyball practice yesterday, seeing Coach Ferreira's girls practice before. I mean, I've been waiting on a text. I think he's at the seeding meeting for volleyball. It's funny because Coach Carl, he's all about, chemistry, mental preparation, things like that.
Scientist.
And you talk to his players, and you're like, okay, what are your goals for the postseason? And everybody wants to say, okay, we're taking it one game at a time. But, I mean, they lost one game during the regular season. It's hard not to be thinking, okay, we can win the first game. We can win the second game. We should be making it to the state tournament in San Francisco or in the San Francisco area. And so I'm talking to the women on the team about it, and some of them are like, yeah, it'd be great to get there, but worried about the first game, even though they don't know what it is yet. Then the first thing, I talked to Coach Carl, and he's like, yeah, we've talked about it. Yeah, I tell him at practice, visualize it, because he doesn't want them to be uncomfortable if and when they get to that situation. He doesn't want it to be like a surprise or want them to play all tight because, we were only taking this one game at a time and we weren't prepared to be playing for a state title on the line. So, I mean, at practice, he tells them, visualize being in that game. Visualize winning that game. Visualize, making these plays. And, I mean, that's a lot of what his regular coaching philosophy is about, is just even visualizing yourself being aggressive at practice. So, as he says, he doesn't see why they can't win it all. And playoffs will start play-in games are Saturday.
Okay.
Next Tuesday, BC should host, regardless of what seed they are. I mean, they shouldn't be outside of a top 4 seed, so.
Beautiful experience, and it goes back to the stereotype that we talked about. Everybody assuming that we're this football school, and our volleyball team probably has been the most consistent from a standpoint over the last few years. So, kudos to Coach Carl Ferrer. So, John, we're running out of time right now. I know you got a lot of stuff to do and a lot of stories to write. You got some meetings coming up. You got to go meet Coach Carl. But more than anything, man, I just appreciate having the opportunity to share the air with you every week. Can't wait to do it again this weekend. And I'll be making sure to do my Saddleback research the next 24 hours so we can actually have a great Carpet Outlet Plus Red Carpet pregame show.
Yeah,
all right.
Well, I'm going to be sitting next to you during the game, I think, Kenny, so that should be good. Always inspiring being with you.
All right, know what? It was definitely inspiring that first half. We had fun, man, because everything we said was right. The second half, I don't know. But, hey, this is Kenny Calvin, Jon the Medicine Man Mettus. We'll be right back after the break with Coach Jeff Chudy, my first head coach, my first position coach in college, and also the first head coach that I assisted at the collegiate level. We'll be right back after the break.
Buying a pre-owned vehicle from an online company can be risky, especially if the vehicle is not seen in person before the purchase. At Three-Way Chevrolet, we want you to search and compare the inventory on our website, but then come in to the dealership and test drive our vehicles. Let us take the risk out of your buying experience. Buy from the dealer you trust, and when you step up to certified pre-owned, confidence comes standard. A 172-point inspection and reconditioning along with 2 factory-backed limited warranties and roadside assistance add up to a value you can depend on, and a vehicle you can trust from Three-Way Chevrolet, your hometown dealership.
For nearly 80 years, Current Schools Federal Credit Union has been helping generations of local people achieve local dreams. What started as a tiny office in the basement of Bakersfield High School, where receipts were kept in a shoebox, has grown to become the largest financial institution headquartered in Kern County. And local matters. Through the years, we've been witness to families and friends passing their Current Schools tradition down from one generation to the next. And we always have room for more. So be sure to start your Current Schools family tradition today. Current Schools, together we have something special.
W.A. Thompson Distributing proudly supports Bakersfield College athletics. W.A. Thompson has been delivering quality beverage products to Kern County businesses for over 60 years. With great beer comes great responsibility. Please enjoy our products responsibly and always remember, 21 means 21. W.A. Thompson Distributing salutes BC football. Thanks for following the Renegades on the radio, and go Gates!
For years, Current Schools Federal Credit Union has been the local choice to meet your financial needs. And just because we're local, you can still take us wherever your travels or life may be. That's right. From online and digital banking to mobile check deposit, Current Schools is always a tap away. And did you know banking at Current Schools gives you access to over 30,000 ATMs nationwide? More than any big national bank can offer. Download the Co-op ATM Locator app to find an ATM near you. See, we're local, but we're local everywhere. Current Schools. Together, we have something special.
Three-Way Chevrolet. Amazing savings, exceptional service, and a selection of over 700 new Chevys on the lot. Silverados, Tahoes, Malibus, and Cruises. Or the racetrack-proven performance of Corvette and Camaro. Chevy vehicles continue to earn top marks year after year. And after one visit to Three-Way Chevrolet, you'll see why.
We're here to help. Three-Way Chevrolet.
Selection, savings, and service at Three-Way Chevrolet, your hometown dealership.
It's hard to think about winter with the leaves and pumpkins laying about, but it won't be fall forever. So swing by the fall tire sale at Les Schwab through October 31st. The sale may be seasonal, but our service is here forever. Les Schwab Tire.